7 seconds.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore, your morning dose of creative conversation and coffee with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. Get ready to start your day off right.
And good morning, everyone. How the heck are you? Welcome to the Wednesday New Comic Book Day, Hump Day edition of Nevermind the Furthermore. It's August 18th. Yes, I'm looking at the time, and it is. Anyway, it's August 18th, and, do you know where your keys are? Do you know where anything is? Have you had enough coffee yet? You're looking tired. Please put your feet up. Anyway, glad to have you here. Good morning, and welcome to the show. One quick program, we will be on Friday, but Carl Witzman is going to be standing in for me and doing a far better show than I could ever hope to do. So please check it out. And if you're checking us out live or on the rerun, we appreciate all of you. If you're watching on the rerun, please leave us a comment on YouTube so that we will try to answer your questions. But if you're live, we'll try to answer your questions here. Anyway, folks, thank you for watching. And we are brought to you today, as always, by Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you. You've worked hard on that book, and you want to put the best cover you can on because that's what's going to get people to actually take a look and flip through your book. Well, Jeffrey Hayes at Plasma Fire Graphics is the guy you got to get introduced to. You can check out his work on his Facebook page as well as on his webpage, plasmafiregraphics.com. He does beautiful wraparound covers. He does comic book covers. Also, he will do graphics that you can use to promote your books on social media, as well as beautiful trailers like the one you just saw. And in fact, I use Jeffrey Hayes because he did the cover to my latest release. It's number 4 in the Snow short series, Snow Ambition. It's a one-shot, quick read crime thriller. And look at that beautiful cover. Isn't that powerful? Well, Jeffrey Hayes did that thing. And if you want him to do that thing for you, then you need to check out Plasma Fire Graphics. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it sure as shooting matters to your readers. And we're also brought to you today by the one, the only author, Amy Hale, who's got a brand new book called Neuroses, and we hope you'll check out her work. It goes something like this. So please check out the work of Amy Hale. She's available on Amazon. Her stuff is incredible. Trust me. I'm not just saying it because she's my friend and she's a sick little girl right now, and it would cheer her up, but also because she's an incredible talent, and I am envious of her ability to do words. Anyway, check out the work of Amy Hale. Short and sassy storyteller. You'll be glad you did. And also, we want to give a shout out to the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Yes, I believe we got. Did we get the thing up? Yes, we got the latest schedule up. If you want to see the latest schedule, go to our our Facebook page and give it a like if you would. But we have your entertainment and education 7 days a week. Tonight will be a brand new episode of The Truth Mongers with Ted Davies and Glenn B. Fleming as they explore one of the modern myths that plague our society. And it's always informative, always fun, always entertaining. And then tomorrow we've got TED Talks Timepieces, and then in the evening at 7 p.m., Comic Book Spectrum with myself, Eric Hawkins, Clyde Hall, and Brian Rodman, followed by Stupid O'Clock with the great Joe Dog McKeel. Great after-hours convention talk. And they don't talk convention, they talk geek, and it's really fun and funny. You will enjoy it. You might even wind up on the show. Who knows? And then after that is Dan Hollifield with Last Man Standing. The geeky talk continues way into the night. Who will be the last man standing, right? Anyway, check that show out. Those shows out there are great. And we also want to thank our Patreon supporters. Got a couple more names to put on here, but want to let you know that we appreciate each and every one of you because you're helping keep this show and the mission alive, the mission of the rising tide. Also, don't forget that Patreon is a monthly stipend that you can send to your favorite creators. It's like a subscription service, and you get stuff in return. I'll be working on my blog later today, as well as putting out more chapters of The Terror that I hope you'll appreciate. And if you want to find out what we do for your ongoing financial support, go to www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. And we want to thank last night, got a few more thank yous. Last night, I want to thank author Michaela Jade, and Joe Dog McKeel, and Nicholas Anthony Tockert for coming on the show of Clever Title Pending last night. It went totally off the rails, but it was a lot of fun. We think everyone enjoyed it. We had a good time, so that's all that matters, right? But anyway, and also R.G. Westerman, who was supposed to have been on the show, had something come up, and she has rescheduled for September 14th. So please set your calendars and know that she will be returning. And if we're having a little crappy signal right now, it's because we've got a crappy signal on our internet. It's a regional thing. So anyway, we'll soldier through with this. And also thank you to Carl Witzman, who will be doing the Friday Nevermind the Furthermore. It's going to be a lot of fun. Carl is a great talent, and if he wants to Nevermind the Furthermore, I'd give it to him. But then he'd have a regular schedule. He'd have to get up early 3 days a week. Nah, retirement suits him better. But anyway, please check out that show and please give Carl the love, okay? And I think that's it. I think we can get to your comments now. And we will. Oh, we got a whole bunch of them. First in the gate is Back of the Cereal Box. Great network on YouTube. Also check out his Back of the Cereal Box show every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Oh, 9 a.m. Eastern. That's early. It's worth getting up for. You get to eat cereal in your pajamas and talk geek stuff. John is always fun, always entertaining. And check out johnpica.com for all kinds of cool stuff. Happy New Comics Day. Heroes Union #1 hits store shelves today. I hope I told my comic monger, get me a copy. I am so looking forward to it. It's classic style storytelling with by some of my favorite creators: Roger Stern, Ron Friend, Sal Buscema. I mean, that's, how can you not be entertained by that stuff? That's great. And greetings, infidels. Wait, wrong group. Oh crap. Sorry, Joe Dog McKeel. You must have been in the intolerance group, but we're glad you're here, and thank you again for being on the show last night, man. You were fantastic, as were all my other two guests, and they were wonderful, as is Carl Witzman. Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you have a good time on Friday morning. What's happening Friday, folks, is Cookie has PT and physical therapy for her broken arm, her broken elbow, rather, and it just happens to fall in a time during the show. She's not well enough that she can drive yet. That may not be for another month, and I may not be taking every Friday off, but we'll mix it up. I won't ask Carl to have a show for the next month. He does quite enough as it is being retired. And Donna Carlene, no, Joe Dog, I think you got it right. At least some of us. Yeah, probably so. And hello, Donna Carlene. Good to see you as always. And there she is. Hey there, friends. How are you? Michaela Jade. Check out her morning motivations. Those are so much fun. and even sometimes I don't catch them till like mid-afternoon, but that's about the time I need a kick in the slats to get me up and going and hitting the creative trail again. But anyway, check out Michaela Jane. Also check out Monday Night Tidbits and Scribbles. Brand new night for a great show. And from the Desk of Small Press Publisher, good morning all. Morning Brian. Morning Joe D. McPhee. How are you, sir? From the Desk of Small Press Publisher. Also a member of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, along with Michaela Jade. They do Joe does a great show on Saturday nights called From the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. I'm still on John's thing. Anyway, but Joe does a great interview show. Sometimes he does comic reviews and artwork. Joe, I may have sent somebody your way who wants their comic book reviewed. So, I just don't have the time right now, and I didn't know the guy. So anyway, and did you get an update on Luke Stone? I talked to someone yesterday about it. I didn't see any posts about it, but I guess Luke is feeling poorly. I don't know how much I can reveal on the air. I don't know if it was told to me in confidence, but if Nick Tockert shows up, I'll let him give the update, as because I think he's talked directly to Luke. But no worse as far as I know. And Teresa Dunn, good morning all. It's Hump D Hump. I have an itch on my bum. Oh, I guess you do, Teresa. She's got an itch somewhere. Teresa, Poetry Expressions available on Amazon. She's wonderful. Wow, the TMI is starting early today. Yeah. Oh, it's TMI to you. To me, it's just getting to know you better. And on Friday, I am hosting the show, but only on the Rising Tide Facebook channel. We're slumming for Friday. That's right, folks. If you are a YouTube subscriber, rather, thank you. We are experiencing another growth spurt right now, so please like, share, and subscribe. But anyway, Friday's show with Carl Witzman will be Facebook only. All right, so don't panic. I've got to find a way to share that on here just to have it in the archives. And Ted Davies Artistry, good morning all. Good morning to you. Ted will be on tonight at 7 with Glenn B. Fleming on the Truth Mongers, and then tomorrow morning again with Ted Talks Timepieces. He's a busy boy, all part of the Rising Tide Network. And Carl, TMI is asking if your private looks infected before you have your coffee or tea. You mean that's inappropriate? What? I mean, I've been doing it wrong? Oh, heck. And check out the Truth Mongers tonight at 7 p.m., says Ted Davies Artistry. The Hollower Theory is the topic. The worldly details tonight. See you there. And yeah, and knowing Glenn, he'll bring a Pellucidar. I love Pellucidar. Pellucidar was a great series of novels by Edgar Rice Burroughs, the creator of Tarzan of the Apes. And they're great books. It's about, like if you imagine this is the earth, the surface of the earth. Well, we're up here. Pellucidar is down here. It's very similar to Skartaris from The Warlord by DC, by Mike Grell. So, but anyway, promises to be a good show, a great show even. And wow, I'm not asking how you know that, Jody. Jody's eyes are everywhere. And the earth better not be hollow. I have a lot invested in the core. That's right. It's not to be confused with creative core, though. And Ace Bonnie, good morning. Soup of the day is coffee. That is right, sir. Soup is always good food. We've got a local Mexican restaurant over in Attica, Indiana, and they always say that the soup of the day is tequila. And I'm like, I got to go there. They sound like my kind of people. And from the Small Press Publisher, I'm a veteran. When I was on active duty, that was one of the many questions that others ask after a leave or a pass. Oh, yes, when the native girls got a little too friendly. Yes, and good morning, Glenn Fleming. Hey to you, my friend. How are you today? Glenn is the co-host of the Truth Mongers tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. And also he's going to be on Clever Title Pending this coming Tuesday, where we'll talk about his brand new project dealing with Jack Kirby. And let's see, how far behind am I? I got time. And then the Skunk Rocker is next, but we got time. This is Glenn's project, and I want to give it some love here, because I'm a big Kirby fan. If you love the X-Men or the Avengers or any of the early Marvel stuff, chances are you're a Kirby fan too, whether you knew it or not. Who is Kirby? Kirby is the king.
When they mined an area, they put down yellow tape right across that line. Say, And if you walked on the wrong side of that yellow tape, you blew up.
Strange Tales 136, I remember it very clearly, and that was my first exposure to Kirby. And I wanted to show it to people.
What's it like to spend the day with one of your artistic idols? Ask anyone that spent more than 10 minutes with me. Anyway, no, Jack Kirby was one of the most prolific and creative people in all of the history of comics. He was he was the gold standard, the high bar to reach. And even long decades after his passing, he is the standard by which all other creators are judged in comic books. And Glenn got to spend the day with this amazing man and his wife, and there's going to be lots of artistry and great conversation. Looking forward to that. And also, like I said, Glenn will be on Clever Title Pending this coming Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. So please come check it out. Looking forward to that so much. And Skunk Rocker is here. Skunk, good to see you. And now it's time for another wonderful edition of What is Yanking My Tail by Skunk Rocker, brought to you by Stupid O'Clock, which is that show on Thursdays and Saturdays that has me on it sometimes. Me meaning Skunk, because he's awesome. And Carl from the audience, what is yanking your tail, Skunk? All right, says Skunk, this is just a list of things that have been putting my tail in a knot lately. Fast food restaurants, putting your fries on top of the burger when you get it at the drive-thru, school zones, and my coworkers not pulling their weight. Tropical storms, actually, now that I think about it, weather in general actually just kind of gets on my nerves. Monster Java tastes better than Starbucks. WTF? I would agree with you. And finally, the town of Englewood, Tennessee. Yes, I did pay that ticket. It cost me $225. Yes, I do think they're grifting. I notice they only pull over out-of-town vehicles, so there you go. And there's more. There's more. Don't stop here, folks. There's more. And let's see. Here we go. All right. Hey, tune in tomorrow night to Stupid O'Clock. I might not be there, but Joe Dog will, and John and Lewis and Dan and probably Bill and that other guy's been showing up lately. Okay. There's always room for you, Skunk. I know this for sure. I know this. And Carl Witzman says, don't believe Brian when he says that I will do a better show. That is not my intention. I don't aim for that kind of quality. Carl, you could trip over my level of quality. You know what I'm saying? You do a great show. And you keep up with comments. I think it's great. I think you're terrific. I'm so happy you're doing this. And I owe you and Donna dinner at least. So for all that you guys do for me. So anyway, check out Friday. I appreciate you, Carl, so much, and you'll appreciate Carl too. The more you watch today, you'll appreciate Carl more on Friday. And good morning to my darling Sarah, who is still in the afterglow of Free Comic Book Day last Saturday. Did you go check out your latest comic book monger? He may still have some free stuff left, so please check out, or she. Let's be fair. Sarah, love you, hon. Mwah. Sorry I didn't get a chance to comment to you yesterday. I have an editing job right now that is kicking my bootay. Anyway, Damian Waldron, good morning. Good morning to you, my friend. I will check out your DM to me later. I am so excited. Damian is a very talented toy creator and just a comic book creator, and also a web designer. And please contact him because probably by next week we will have a brand new look to the Rising Tide webpage, which is at risingtide.pub, where you can sign up for my free monthly newsletter. Next issue will go out September 1st. All right. And September and October, we are busy. After this weekend, we're going to be at Kokomo Con in Kokomo, Indiana. That'll be at the Kokomo Convention Center at 1500 North Reed Road in Kokomo, Indiana, please come see us. It's a very reasonable admission price, and I will be there along with author Michaela Jade, Kathy, and Matthew Jackson. Just all kinds of cool people. Andy Shaggy Cordy, Mark Lemieux. It's good, just going to be a great time. Please come see us. And good to see you, Damien. We'll be talking later today. And William Quinton, good morning, everyone. William, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're having a great morning. And some of my best memories were made by mistakes in Show Dog and McKeel. I've made a lot of mistakes, so I've got a lot of great memories. And Jeffrey sends spectacular packages, says Sarah, who got a hold of one of Jeffrey's packages. And I'm so glad I thought to show it and share some of it to take to cons for more exposure. Yes, Jeffrey, if you're listening, Sarah shared some of her bounty with me, just as I've been doing. I've been leaving your business cards out, and we're going to be giving away some of the stuff that was just a little bit of the stuff that was in that package. No, she wouldn't let me take that shadow picture home. And Afternoon Glenn from the Desk of a Small Press Publisher. And let's see, here we go. And Sarah says, last night's Clever Tile Pending was awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. We had a good time. And considering 3 of my favorite people volunteered at the last minute to step in and make sure we had a show, that means a lot to me. And I thank you to everyone that supported us and joined in the general nuttiness. And I can still hear you just fine. That's what matters. Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'm just checking here. And yeah, I'm badly... My picture is bad, but that is the local internet connection. I've got a little meter on my StreamYard here that tells me so. And Sarah says, I've started taking pictures of comics I want while I'm reading and sleeping tons while still recuperating. Oh, that's awesome. That's super. Speaking of super, there's the super lady herself, Willow Scott. Good morning, my friends. How are you, Willow? Check out Willow's Pillow Talk this week. And also Cryptid Crunch, brand new show with Willow and Keisha Acuff. It is a sensational show on the back of the Cereal Box Network. Willow, we love you. And I'd love to join you Thursday, but I'm busy. I'm doing Comic Book Spectrum. But anyway, have fun. But we've got to do something together sometime. We really do, you and me. All right. We will have fun. And here we go. And Baba Ya Harrison. Gosh, that's an interesting, if somewhat fraudulent story. Let's just delete that comment and we will block you later, okay? Thanks for showing up and playing the game. And Sarah says, good thoughts to whatever Luke is going through. Yeah, Luke is having some medical challenges right now. So all prayers and good thoughts, please send them in her way. And the thumb downer is back, so please like to counteract them. That's right. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up if you would, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And also, if you're watching on the rerun, please leave us a comment. All right, we'd love to hear what you have to say, and I will personally reply to all comments that I take notice of. Anyway, which are quite a few. I get notified when you do. And as of yesterday, we hit 580 subscribers, and thank you very much. And that brings up, we have what we're calling the YouTube challenge. I would like to have 1,100 subscribers by the end of Halloween 2021. That means while I'm driving home from non-con, I will have 1,100 subscribers, and it can be done. And what's going to happen is we're going to have, if we hit that mark, we are going to have a special 12-hour Nevermind the Furthermore. We're going to have special guests lined up. We're also going to have some giveaways. We'll just celebrate the fact that we cracked the 1,100 subscriber mark. That would be great. We'd love it. And we can only do it with your help. So please spread the word about this broadcast. Tell your friends, share it on your social media, and get them to come over here and subscribe. That would be very, very helpful. And this is a little experiment we're doing. Get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. Get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. Get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. Anyway, hi YouTube fam, and love from Sarah. And good morning to Grant Lanker. Good to see you, sir. Enjoying Beowulf. I haven't finished it yet. Like I said, I've got a freelance assignment that's vexing me. So we will be getting to that. That's going to be our joy, our happiness. Get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. Get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. And Ryan Permison shared, thank you, Ryan. Always appreciated, my friend. And everyone's saying hello to each other. And Ryan Permison says, good morning, Nevermornings. How are you? I'm doing well. That's what we need to know. We also need to know what's the latest episode of the podcast, Talking Movies. Why, it's on Anchor FM, and they up to issue episode 111. That's a prime number. Anyway, please check out that show. It's always fascinating. Ryan does some great broadcasting, and everyone's saying hello to each other. And East Bonnie, I normally wear glasses, but today BKM show looked clearer without my glasses. Yeah, I am so sorry about that. That is something that is beyond my control. It looks like somebody just smashed a big thumb up in the middle of the screen. I mean, I'm looking at my Facebook feed. I mean, as long as I don't move, I'm fine. Anyway, Ryan Permison says, subscribe to the Nerd Culture channel because they've got all kinds of nerdy content, and it's great nerdy content, not just adequate, but great. And it features trivia, interviews, and more. How do you like it? How do you like it? Artwork of Bill Sartin. Good morning to you, Bill. And a wonderful Wednesday morning to the fantastic, flippin', frolicking Fezman and all the nefarious Nevermorians. Count your God-given blessings and share them with others, because that, and the more you share, the more you get. And bring Cookie home. Thank you, Bill Sartin. That's our goal. That is our credo. We want to bring the little woman home. Well, she's average sized. She's a good sized woman. She's healthy, except for that arm of hers, which, by the way, is doing better. We went to the chiropractor early this morning, and Cookie's been having one bit of trouble in her wrist, because she landed on it. And the chiropractor just did a little yanking and pulling and tugging, and Cookie's like, wow, suddenly she's got like uber mobility, matching in both hands, which is the goal. The next step, which we're hoping to get started in about 3 weeks, will be strength training again. And summer reading recommendations, send me links via DM. Ryan, would you send me a DM? Because I finished a book recently. I just finished James Patterson's The Shadow, loosely based on the classic Pulp character. And it really was a lot better than I anticipated. It's not quite what you expect from the Pulps, but it's really, really good. And Grant Lankert says, I got a random payment from the IRS today. Their helpline was not helpful. How long do I wait before I start spending it? Wow. Did it say in the letter what you got the money for? Yeah, yeah, I'd be wondering what strings are attached to that one. Was there anything about your immortal soul once you endorse it? That's the sort of thing I'd be looking for. And spots are open, says Ryan Permison, for 2022 to be a guest on, and I quote, they are live on Saturdays at 12 p.m. noon time Eastern. But if they got to record, they'll record with you. They're good like that. And we have friendly conversation. You can promote your project, so you can sign up today at that Calendly site. And good morning, Facebook user. Hope you are doing well this morning. And the Artwork of Bill Sartin says the bird's the word when you subscribe to CityCap's nice and nifty newsletter at CKOEPP.com. It's really something to tweet about. It really is. And Carl Witzman wonders if it's some sort of stimulus check. Are you part of the infrastructure for some reason? And our internet signal should be better now. It just the meter just went away. There we go. The kind of picture you people deserve. All right. Unfortunately, it's of me. But yeah, it should say there should be something telling you, what it was from. Maybe you overpaid on your taxes or something. And or they could say, well, wait a minute, he's a full-time comic creator. He needs this money more than we do. Joe Dog McKeel says, well, isn't that special? I just learned an anti-vax friend is positive for, say it, Brian, sucks to them. I hope it doesn't rain again today. Yeah, we had the after show was fun. We always have an ad. A lot of your favorite shows on Facebook and YouTube have what we call an after show. And it's the thing that once you guys stop seeing the broadcast, the rest of us kind of let our hair down, such as it is, and talk candidly. And we were sharing some information last night, and Joe Dog is particularly he doesn't wish anyone ill, but if they are ill and they were diehard anti-vaxxers, Let's just say his sympathy is diminished. All right. And anyway, Skunkcracker says, well, tomorrow night I've got wrestling stuff, but I might be up to it afterwards. I don't know. Work has been extra maternally fornicating, we'll say. That's right. Thank you, Skunk. I appreciate that. Work can be a maternal fornicator. That's for sure. Donna Carlene, I was wondering if Brian knows I'll be helping Carl on Friday. Oh, that is definitely a reason. I'm going to make a note of that. That is definitely a reason to tune in, that Aunt Donna will be there teaching Uncle Carl the error of his ways, whatever they may be. So that will be fun. And Grant, keep. Yeah, seriously. No, wait, seriously, unless you're in dire need of it, I agree. Keep the money. They rarely send these, unless it's like, $50,000 or something. I'm going to assume it's a modest amount. But hang on to it, or if nothing else, put it in a savings account, or like a 90-day CD if your bank offers them, and let the money grow a little bit. All right. And Ryan Permison says, read Domino Lay by Bobby Nash, and I read Pulp Reality 2 and Evolution Man this week. Reviews coming soon. Life is better when reading. That's a great catchphrase. That's the sort of credo that gets you through life, my man. But yeah, I want to send you a link, unless you can find it yourself, to James Patterson's Shadow. And there's also a really good book that just came out by Will Murray on the history of the Shadow. Will Murray is probably, I would say, Pulp's greatest living historian. His stuff is really good. Plus, he writes in the genre too, and he's written New Adventures of Tarzan and Doc Savage. He wrote a number of Doc Savage books. He's the executor of the Lester Dent estate. And he's just an all-around good guy. So, by the way, I will be at Pulp's Windy City Pulp and Paper Con on Sunday, September 12th, by the way. And I've been invited. Thank you, Charles F. Millhouse, for arranging this, and Andy Thix. I will be on a panel around 1:00 about talking about favorite pulp writers. And looking forward to that. And Grant, do you have kids? Maybe that tax credit that has been promised. Oh, that's true. And I commented early, but now I'm late to the party. Back of the cereal box, John B. Pica, johnpica.com. You are worth waiting for, dude. You never have to worry about your timeliness unless you miss the broadcasts, okay? And how can you claim that as a gift? I doubt that. I very much doubt that. If you have a tax preparer also, you might check with them. But it should say somewhere what the money was for. And Sarah says, no problem with delayed response. I know you'll get to them whenever you can. And I do think about it, and I writhe with agony, knowing that I'm leaving you hanging. But I will not leave you hanging for long, my dear. And from this one, Small Press Publisher, Damien, your books and extras are on the way. USPS has it now. Excellent. And Skunkcracker says, well, that was an amusing sight. Big old Volvo semi-sleeper tailgating the Amish on horse and buggy. Oh, dear God, that's bullying. Man, don't jake that brake driver. Don't want to scare the horses after all. Wow, that is bully. That is like uber bullying. That's beyond the pale. It's like, I'll show those dang Amish. I'll show them who's boss by Jingo. I'm gonna crowd their bumper. I'll show them. So anyway, I gotta turn on my fan. It's getting a little warm up here, so I have a little yes. And let's turn this off. You better keep working. There we go. I keep this on here because temperature's a little high up here, and I don't have. The air conditioning doesn't quite reach the way it should. So I have a little fan that helps me out. Actually, we've got the windows open. It hasn't been bad recently. So that's your weather report from Lafayette, Indiana. Back to you, Anchor Desk. And back in the cereal box, Johnny got into it with the thumb downer yesterday and got blocked for asserting that selling fan art is theft. Oh, real? Oh, really? Oh, I want to hear about John. Send me a PM about this, would you please? I am curious as hell about that. Interesting. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, well, there's fan art and then there's fan art. But there are a number of unscrupulous people at shows who basically take pre-existing images created by other artists, and then they print them on posters. And it's almost criminal, really, because they charge anywhere from $10 to $25 for something that they stole off of somebody else's Instagram or their Facebook page or their website. And you can usually, you can usually see them. They've usually got these displays of posters that reach up to any given ceiling. Now, there's some people that do original work, and I have no quarrel with that. But there are some people, well, there was one guy who was very prominent a few years ago. He got kicked out of Metropolis, in fact. But he actually took pieces of artwork off of the internet, and the only alteration he did was removing the original artist's signature. And you have like a Jim Lee next to a Bruce Timm, next to a Neil Adams, and he's going, yeah, I drew all of these. I just have all these different styles. And there was a really good video a few years ago with Jamal Eagle, who went down the road and said, no, that's a Jim Lee. That's a Neil Adams. By the way, that Neil Adams has never been printed. It's only exists as a painting on Neil Adams' office wall and on his website. That's where you got it, you SOB. And he got the guy not only kicked out of that particular Wizard World convention, but kicked out of the Wizard World chain. So good for you, Jamal. Anyway, yeah, good for you, John. I agree with you. It is legally speaking, if you're copying somebody's art, it's still theft. And wow, I agree. I want to hear more about it. And I agree with from this Small Press Publisher. Saturday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. A proud part of the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. Or it may not. He may not be proud. He may be going, "What in the world have I let myself in for?" But no, the Scoutcracker says, "Oh my God, these allergies are kicking my butt. Stupid storm. I might have to get some nasal spray or something at the next pharmacy I stop at that I like." Sometimes you can get. I don't know how severe it is, Skunk, but sometimes I use that saline spray and it clears me right up. And Sarah goes, isn't it nice that someone takes the time to go to your show and give a thumbs down, taking all the time out of their day? Oh, yeah. And here's the beautiful part. It may make them feel good. They may be getting a little stiffy thinking about, ooh, I sure showed him. Guess what? YouTube recognizes it as an interaction, and it brings me just that much closer to monetization. You freaking loser. Anyway, and 12-hour, never mind. The furthermore, dude, if you need me, I will be out of town. I expect a lot of people to be like, boy, at 90 minutes to 2 hours, it's a train wreck. Dear God, what's it going to be like around hour 11 or 12? Yeah, and I'm already planning the logistics of it. Being optimistic. Get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month, get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month, get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month, get 1,000 subscribers in 1 month. Anyway, but yeah, I'm already anticipating the logistics it's going to take. There will be bathroom breaks. There'll be long videos. We may run a couple. We may splice a couple together and run like a 5-minute video for your entertainment. That could be something. I could take like old cartoons in the public domain and show them, and that gives me time to run around and do things like relieve myself or get more coffee. And thank you, Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Thank you for doing that. And I'm not going to patronize any of those jerks that do things like order 30 freaking totes of candy bars. SMH, I'm supposed to be delivering medicine, not Milky Ways. Yeah. You mean they used you for deliveries like that? That's okay. That's nuts. And this weekend, says Damian Waldron, I'll be at Evansville Comic Con at the Vandenberg 4-H Center, booth 35. I'll have Realmer X Comics action figures and more. Nevermorians get a free gift if you show up. Tell him that Nevermind the Furthermore, I sent you. Damian Woodburn, that is cool. I take it Evansville, Indiana, dude. We are. Yeah, that's right. You're in the Louisville area. That's not that far from you. Man, one of these times, also, Damien, if that's the show I'm thinking of, look for a lady named Candace Comaleri. She is a wonderful lady, a great talent, beautiful person, and a dear friend of mine. Please introduce yourself and say I sent you. All right. She and her fellow Tim are great people. Two of my faves. I got a lot of favorites. And Sarah, you're in their thoughts. That's so sweet. Yeah, seriously. Or as has been pointed out to me several times, I'm living rent free in their head. And if that's all the best they've got to do, hey, let them do that while I do this thing called success. You know what I'm saying? And like the rest of you, don't let your detractors get you down. In fact, it makes me happy. It annoyed me at first. Although I knew when, if I get like a dozen positives versus one negative, then I'm doing okay. I'm really doing okay. But just then when I found out that it still counts as interaction and YouTube does not ding me in any way. In fact, if anything, I fall off of that person's search arguments. And so it becomes a little more difficult to find me. They actually have to make some effort to do it. It's awesome. And if they subscribe so they wouldn't have to worry about it, then I win there too. Anyway, looking forward to being on the air with you, Brian. Next Tuesday, my Wednesday, my 1 a.m. dedication or what? You see, now, Glenn, this is a teaching moment. This seriously is. I get a lot of people that ask me about, well, how come you travel 8 hours to go to a show? What's wrong with you? Not a damn thing. Not every show can be an hour away, like Kokomo Con, 1500 North Reed Road, this coming Saturday from 10 to 5. Please come see us. And also, if you come see us and mention Nevermind the Furthermore, we'll give you a $5 discount on 2 books. How's that sound? But yeah, the thing is, the people who do what others won't are the people who succeed in this business, Glenn. You stay up until, 100 hours in the morning. I am willing to drive a long way and spend the night for a show like last Saturday, because I love Scott Thorne and I love Castle Perilous. I have a 4-hour appearance, but I'm willing to drive 5 hours and spend the night to be there on time. And so I don't have to get up at the crack of midnight to get there in time. Because that makes for a long day. And Brian's spring chickenry is well behind him. But, it's the people who do what others won't that succeed. The people who say, well, I don't want to promote. Fine, don't promote. Then people will hear my message all the clearer. I don't want to hire an editor. That costs money. I'm willing to invest in my business and look good. You look at somebody like John B. Pica or Glenn Fleming or author Michaela Jade, people who do what it takes rather than doing what's convenient. Those are the people who will succeed in this business, in any creative business. Trust me on this, all right? And Skunk Cracker says, if he does that 12-hour Nevermind the Furthermore, I'm in. Skunk, maybe we'll have you on. Who knows? I know I can't do it. I don't think I could do it strictly by myself and just by comments. And Sarah, listening to you is very clear, darling. Thank you very much. That's what I look like. That's what I like to hear. And you look and sound fine on my end. Excellent. I'm always looking to look good on your end. And Grant Lankard, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Beowulf. I feel like getting constructive criticism is like pulling teeth. Grant, welcome to one of the first laws of creative endeavor. I've had hundreds and hundreds of books sold. Okay. I've sold a lot of damn books. I probably have about less than 1% of that readership have, I don't assume everyone's read it, okay? Because I've got a pile of books off camera that you ain't never going to see until I get that thing whittled down. But anyway, no, I have just a fraction of the people who bought my books who have left reviews. And they are so important, which is why I wrote this book. Amazon Book Reviews Made Less Impossible, a reader's guide to rewarding authors, available on Amazon. And it's probably right now got the most reviews of any book I've ever written, except for Bloodshot, except that got that was taken down when the Kindle Worlds program ended. But that may not be the last time anyone sees that book. All right. Anyway, yeah, I definitely want to give that a careful read. And I do plan to let you know what I think of it. Already just flipping through it, I'm like, wow, this is... Seriously, Grant, I'm not saying this because you're here. I'm thinking, wow, this is really good. And from this, a small press publisher, back of the cereal box, that topic is a slippery slope, legally so. You did right not to overly engage in that conversation. Yeah. Actually, it's not so much I don't think it's so much a copyright issue as it is or trademark issue. It's not so much a copyright issue as it is a trademark issue. Because, like Eric Hawkins got in trouble with Disney for publishing a poster of The Mandalorian. And the thing is, when you start doing fan art of Batman or the X-Men or Zombie World of Oz. You're messing with the big guns then. Or, oh my God, Amazonia. Man, I'd rather slap a mama bear in the snout than try to mess with Joe D. McPhee. But no, seriously, you're messing with some big guns there, and they can take you to court for any reason. And I've said this story often, but a friend of mine knew someone who's being sued by DC Comics, and the lawyer for DC went up to the attorney for my friend's friend and said that you will win this case if we get that far, but we'll bankrupt you before we get to a judgment. And so they wisely settled out of court. That's why you see a lot of these companies that mess with like a Disney or a Warner's AT&T settle out of court. In fact, there is this channel that I like watching called Legal Eagle on YouTube. I get a lot of good copyright and trademark advice from there, plus general items in the news and how the legal profession, it reflects ideas in the legal profession. But he said that he's an attorney in the Washington, D.C. area, and he said that there's many a time he is scribbling out, he is going up the stairs to the courthouse, writing on a legal pad the terms of the settlement. Said, that sometimes it gets that close. So it's something not to be messed with. And every now and then, legal representatives for the big companies do go through. And I've heard that several large conventions that the attorneys go with a briefcase full of pre-signed cease and desist letters, and they just basically go look at somebody, oh, you're violating our copyright, pull it out, put it on the desk, and you've been served, and walk off. So anyway, yeah, we don't want to mess with that. And chiropractor, I swear by them. Every time the guy cracks my back, I swear. Yeah, Cookie does the same thing. She's got a spot on her lower back that they just push it, to get everything ready for the big jump. And Cookie makes the big jump. And she said today it was a good session because she didn't swear at the chiropractor. So it's all good. And Scott Cracker says, oh, hey, there's a free test to see if you are affected by the My Sharona, Miley Cyrus, Peter pandemic. Just drive through Calhoun, Tennessee. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm hearing about a lot of more rural areas, also more conservative, that are not exactly shining beacons of scientific inquiry, that they're having a bad time. And I shouldn't laugh, because those are the people who are forcing us to wear masks. And I gotta when we get team people on here, I'm going to probably pay money to get somebody the minute I get on an anti-vax rant to cut my microphone. I really need that, because you guys are smart. I have faith that you are taking care of yourselves and the people around you and your families. But I run into a lot of people that, that are nutty. It's like, if those people would just wear their masks, I wouldn't have to wear mine. So anyway, Scott Cracker says, if you can't smell anything, then and if you can, you'll wish you could. That sounds like a perfect test to me. Why are we waiting for the CDC? And there is a paper mill there. Oh, no. And dear God, did it stink this morning. Paper mills are some of the worst smelling areas. There was a town that Cookie and I used to have to drive through on the way to Buffalo, and they had a paper mill. And oh, my God, I have been through sewage disposal plants that didn't smell that bad. Man, that is like, I cannot imagine living there. I've been in truck stop bathrooms that have smelled better than Calhoun, Tennessee. Okay, on the way to Dalton, Georgia, I am not stopping in Calhoun and rolling up the windows. And that payment in my bank deposit says direct deposit IRS TR. No explanation for why I got it. I'm not going to ask what the total is. That's none of our business. But ask, maybe your bank would have an idea. I don't know. And Sarah says, come back to my bedroom. I have more to share that I forgot about. See ya, folks. Have a nice day. Maybe next time we won't go down the stairs without looking like the Three Stooges. Well, I got the headbutt in. No, Cookie had to walk down the steps backwards because, what's the best way to describe it, Sarah? Your steps to your bedroom are like, I have size 13s, but this is a size 6 step. So I almost should have been like walking up sideways to get up there. Not that I wanted to leave though. But anyway, but no, it was challenging. But Cookie had to like walk backwards because that's the way her equilibrium is. And with her broken arm, so like Sarah was behind her, making sure she could catch Cookie, and then I'm down at the behind Sarah, hoping I can catch both of them. So it's always fun when you visit Sarah. It's Grant Lankard. I'm just afraid it's a mistake and I'm going to spend it and then they're going to want it back. Well, hopefully it's not so much that you can't do it. So I understand that, because last year we had to repay the state of Indiana part of Cookie's unemployment because they had overestimated what she would be making. But yeah, I would keep that, maybe about, like I said, cash it, but put it in like a savings certificate or something that you can get back in about 90 days. And you'll have a little extra on top of it. And good morning, Eric Hawkins. Good morning, my friend. Zombie for World of Oz is currently available at Indiegogo in demand area. And also he is the co-host of Comic Book Spectrum every Thursday night at 7 p.m. It's a glorious celebration of all things comic. And I think we might have something to talk about, like our haul from Free Comic Book Day. And I thank Sarah for making that so. All kinds of good stuff. I still haven't torn into a lot of it, but there's some I'm really intrigued by, like who sparked the Montgomery bus boycott. Free comic from Who HQ, and this is not connected to the Rosa Parks episode of Doctor Who 2 years ago, but Blade Runner. I'm really looking forward to reading this, Enter the House of Slaughter. It's written by James Tynion, who's a terrific writer, and he's part of this new kind of a subscription service, not unlike Patreon, where you can follow your favorite writers like him and Al Ewing and Scott Snyder, Matt Hawkins. No, that's not Matt Hawkins. Matt Fraction, that's who I'm thinking of. But they're putting out their own comic books there, and it's not a foreign concept, but they're putting out the e-versions, the electronic versions, where and then the creators are free to do Kickstarters and stuff to fund a physical copy. That is something. Who is doing that? Who's doing that? I had him on Clever Title Pending a few weeks ago. I need to remind myself of his name. I'm sorry. Let's see. Who was that? Oh, Charles Santino. Yeah, he's got Ramner. That was it. Rammer comic looks real good. Gotta get me a copy. But anyway, he's got a deal with a publisher. They're handling the ebook, and he gets to crowdfund the floppy and the physical version. So good for him. It may be the way of the future, people. And the Historical Fencing Guild goes, good morning, Nevermorians, your bleary-eyed mighty manatee man, master of marketing, half lumbers in search of Kofefe. 2 live shows last night, a 4-hour block tonight. Oh, dear God, you poor man. Oh, that's right. Tonight's your gaming show. Please put in a link to that, my friend. And thank you, Michaela. And thank you, Joe Dog, for filling in last night for R.G. Westerman on Clever Tile Penning. We had a good time last night. It was a fun show. And Sarah says, I'll take the adverse reactions over being on a respirator or something. Yeah, that's my girl. Sarah just recently got her second COVID shot. Her second COVID vaccine, I should say, be more precise. And she is having a reaction. Many of us had a reaction to the shots. I was one of them. But I had a far worse reaction to the flu shot last year. I was kind of concerned whether I'd be alive after the end of the hour. It was that bad. And I was by myself. So I couldn't even call for help. So, but anyway, and it's the first time ever I've ever had that. But I was a little nervous going into the COVID vaccine too. But that was both of them combined, everything that happened to me was far less than what I experienced with the flu shot. And again, like you, Sarah, I'd rather have a little bit of fever, a little bit of chills, a little bit of am I coming down with it or not, than to be down with it. Amy Hale and John, we love you. We do. Will Schuyler says, just keep a record of it, and when you do your taxes next, talk to your accountant about it. That's excellent advice, Willow. Thank you very much. And the green room is the real after show. Whoa, laugh like the shadow, says Ace Bonnie. Who knows what goes on in the green room on Friday nights? Only Carl and Ted and Donna and I know. Okay, that was for you. And lately, my comic book shop has been my money storage. Yeah, it's more like your money vacuum machine. But welcome to a larger world, Sarah. There's a lot of good stuff out there, and you might consider some Kickstarter campaigns too. There is a lot of good stuff like Luke Stone's Hybrids, the Sons of Gods, Grant Lanker's Beowulf. I've been introduced to a number of really cool projects. I want to check out Chad Nuss's new graphic novel. Brian Rodman's got a pair of great magazines, The Nebulizer and Memoirs of an Angel. I've read Memoirs of an Angel. That's a super, super title. You'll like it. And he says, Carl Witzman, you got that right. And grand evening last night, says the Historical Fencing Guild. Nicholas Stockard, it was, and you were a major part of that. I got to catch what you did last night. I said in jest that I had to leave after a while, but Nick said that he still had some things he wanted to work with in broadcasting. I said, well, yeah, I was just kidding. I said, well, maybe I'll do an impromptu broadcast. And it turns out maybe he did. So anyway, I got to check that out later. Just like I'm checking out Doris Jones' Labors of Love. Dory, mwah, good morning to you. Hope your day is going well. Ace Bonnie says, here it's raining cats and dogs. I hope I don't step in any poodles. That's great. But anyway, yeah. I don't know where you live. We are supposed to maybe get some rain this afternoon, and the skies just went from sunny to way overcast. So it could be happening soon. And the Legend of Traveling Tar says BKM literal biggest fan is right next to him. My biggest fan is downstairs. She really is. And the artwork of Bill Starn says, join the far out and groovy true believers by clicking on Starnart76 on Facebook for better days from yesteryear. Bill's snazzy, jazzy sketches are amazing, invincible, spectacular, and any other Marvel reference you can think of. So they're also uncanny. So hit the follow button on the artwork of Bill Sarden, where everything old is new again. Excelsior! Excellent, Bill. Excellent. Joe Dog McKeel says song lyrics are so poetic. It's 1:15. I'm a little drunk and need you now. Sounds more romantic than it's 1:15. I'm hammered and horny. There, that's true. At least they can make it rhyme and make it sound better. And now I've got a song running through my head. I don't think it was John Prine who did it, but it's called Beer Run. B-E-E-R-U-N, Beer Run. B-E-E-R-U-N, Beer Run. All it takes is a 10 and a 5er, a set of keys, and a sober driver. B-E-E-R-U-N, Beer Run. It's a funny song. It really is. And let's see here. We just got a comment dump. And yes, get BKM 1,000 subs in a month. I would love that. I would seriously love that. And we will pass on the blessings to you all who help us get there. We do appreciate it. We're at 58% of our goal, which is pretty darn good. A lot of people don't get to 100 subscribers, even when they try. And we have been blessed with a great set of subscribers. We thank everyone. But please, we want to reach this 1,100 real fast. I want that 100 cushion in there. And so please help us. We would appreciate it. It will be repaid. And thanks, Willow, says Grant Lankard. This is the learning place. And whoa, did I get new privileges here? I just asked to okay Willow's comment. Oh yes, I did click on your name. I was thinking that Joe Dog might need a backup, but you don't have to do anything, Carl. I do go through the comments, and if anything needs a thumbs up, I give it to him, okay? And well, your name does have that cool wrench beside it, Carl. See, Carl, you're moving up in the world. You stick with me, Carl. You'll rise in this organization. Carl, you didn't notice? Your name is Glowing Blue. There we glow. There we glow. And Sarah says, I have a secret stash of books, too, which I showed you in my room. They stay in that cabinet. They bloody well better stay in that cabinet. Oh, my God. I won't say I was shocked, but I was taken aback, okay? Oh, Sarah. And the funny thing is, Sarah, I ran across stuff like that in my collection just the other day, and I thought, I know who would, would gratefully accept these now, who will give them a loving home. And wow, well, I let you through, Willow, but watch it, says Carl Witzman. And what is wrong with saying booty call YouTube? Well, I think just the saying booty call is a bad thing, according to YouTube. I do have some phrases and some web destinations that I don't allow on here, and it's and that isn't what this channel is for, a booty call. And if and I've had a couple people come through here, honestly, and use this as like, oh, I'll check their Facebook. Oh, they're cute. I think I'll send them a picture of something they didn't ask for. And if I ever find that out, and I don't care who it is, they're blocked, they're banned, and I'm telling the world. Okay. And Rick Bradley says, good morning, Nevermornings. Good morning to you, superstar. How you doing, Rick? Rick, we are going to get together, I promise. Last weekend was just a fustercluck, unfortunately, in some areas. But we're glad you're here with us this morning. Scott Cracker says, I just wish there was a way to turn that feature off. Brian has a list of words already of stuff he doesn't want on the show. So why is YouTube trying to do his job for him? Another reason why YouTube sucks. I like it a lot better than Facebook, to be honest. The picture and sound quality are better. And actually, I have a lot more control of that sort of thing. I just generally like YouTube better. And also there is a thing about monetization, and I have a purpose to monetization, and it's not for me. I've already talked to a couple people about it, and let's just say there could be some special cigars and new comic books in some people's fortunes in their futures, and also we're going to use it once we get monetized enough. We're going to trickle it down to the people in the Rising Tide broadcast community. So anyway, there's a Mark Maron joke says Grant Lankard. My first 10 years of stand-up, I waited for somebody to pull me aside and say, why didn't anybody tell you that you're no good at this? I'm waiting for that with comic books. There's imposter syndrome, and we've got to have an imposter syndrome. We haven't had one. Let's see, when was the last time we had an imposter syndrome? I don't think we've had one this year. I'm looking at my records. I just happen to have my book with me, and we have not had. I think it's been almost a year since we've had an imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. This is what imposter syndrome is: when you are doing what you do, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be creative, but you feel like you're a poser. You feel like somebody's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, you've been pretending to be a writer, an artist, a publisher, an electrician long enough. It's time for you to just move aside and let somebody who actually knows what they're doing do the job. And it's insidious. It really is. And it really holds. I've talked to a number of people who that holds back. And I was one of them. Carl cured me. I won't say, I shouldn't say cured. I should say I'm better now. That's what I should say. I still get a little twinge of it every now and then. But it holds us back because we're like, who would want to look at my work? Who would want to listen to my music? Who in their right minds would want to watch my broadcasting? I was fighting, kind of having a fight with somebody last night. She just opened her first Patreon page, and she already had a subscriber before the end of her broadcast. And she was like telling me, well, I don't think anybody will subscribe. I'm like, look, somebody's already subscribed, and I'll do it later. Probably. And it's like, and when she talks about her work, it's like, occasionally it's like, she lets that self-doubt flow in there. And the thing is, once you do the act of creation, you're already light years ahead of anyone who just sits around and says, I'd really like to live that rock and roll lifestyle Brian does. It's the people who put the boots to the ground that make the difference here. And I say that if you're doing it, you're already, if you're selling books, Grant, you are selling books. You've had 2 successful Kickstarter campaigns for Beowulf. There's your evidence. You don't have to worry about anything. And Artwork of Bill Sarn says, I've often wondered about some of the fan art I see being legit, but couldn't prove it. Yesterday, I posted a sketch of Dennis the Menace I drew last year and wrote, with apologies to Ron Ferdinand, who took over for Hank Ketchum for the comic strip. Ron wrote in the comments, don't apologize. It's great. Now, that's approval. Yeah, definitely. That's an attaboy that you ought to have framed. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's just like when I sent the manuscript to the original Skyman Battles the Master of Steam to Roy Thomas, asking if he would do an introduction for me. And it took him a couple weeks, but he wrote back something. I was telling somebody about in Carbondale the other day, in fact, that the quote was, if Pulps ever make a comeback, Morris the Skyman could be the next Doc Savage. And I sat there and I just completely broke down. I just was, heavy tears like in the anime, just coming down like that down my face. Just so appreciative. That was just like somebody of that magnitude saying that something that kind to me, and he doesn't have to do it. Roy does not suffer fools gladly, and he said that about my work, and I'm just like, oh my God, I was the several stages beyond verklempt. But yeah, treasure that, man. Treasure that. Well, in fact, if you're friends with Dan Johnson, he writes a lot of the Dennis the Menace gags. And that's just imposter syndrome, Grant. Definitely. Carl, would you be up to let me know in PM if you'd be up to maybe a clever title pending on imposter syndrome. I think it's something we need to visit every now and then. Another great Mark Maron joke, says Grant Lankard. It takes 10 years to become an overnight success, which is the same time it takes to become a crippling failure, and you don't know which you are until it happens. That's true. That's true. It's like, that was the part of my own imposter syndrome, where I'm friends with people like Jim Beard, John Bruning, Will Murray, Ron Fortier, and Rob Davis, great creators in this field, and Bobby Nash. And I'm like, how did I get to sit at this table? I am no one. And then, it dawned on me, well, I can name the countries I've sold books in. I am bootlegged in Russia and China. Apparently I've done something right. So it helps. And Carl Witzman also said the one thing that, really turned me around on it. I credit him with it, that the only people who have imposter syndrome are the people who've accomplished something. Take that to heart, Grant. And steep steps. Yup. Yeah. Well, for my Frankenstein boots, it wasn't doing me many favors. It's like if I'd fallen down, all there'd be is a hole going into whatever passes for a basement. And Paper Mill. I like Pepper Mills better. They make spicy things. Paper Mills make 3-day-old porta potties at festivals smell like expensive perfume, says Joe Dog McKeel. That is the truth. I'm serious. Paper mills are some of the most horrific smells I have ever encountered. I'm serious. I've smelled dead things, and I've smelled dead things under bad circumstances, and that smells a lot worse. I think paper mills are about the worst industrial odor I've ever encountered. Grant Lankard says, my grandparents lived in Roaring Springs, Pennsylvania, which has a paper mill. Yes, the entire town stinks. Can't be healthy for the residents. My grandfather said it smells like bread and butter to me. Well, if Grandpa worked there, I could see where he would learn to like the smell. So it's like like back in the 70s, in my part of Illinois, there's a hot trade going on in depression glass, which were plates and various bits of dishes that when you went to the movies during the Depression, a lot of theaters would give you a piece of this glass. I think the stuff now, I kind of dig it. I kind of like the designs. I kind of like the colors now, but at the time I'm like, God, this stuff's hideous. And my mother was looking at some, and the lady at this one rummage sale was trying to sell us some pieces, and Mom was like, no thanks, it doesn't match my china. And I told her, and she's like, well, do you want some? Because I was old enough to have my own plates by then. She probably assumed I was living on my own. And I said, no, I don't really care for the design very much. And the lady just looked around, and she leaned in and said, I think it's ugly as hell, but it got my daughter through college. And I'm like, then it's beautiful. It's totally beautiful. And Willow Schuyler says, the industrial areas of Winnipeg is no better. We have the maple leaf kill plant and an asphalt plant adjacent to each other at an intersection. We have a wonderful mushroom plant that adds to the aroma. Oh my God. And I used to work in asphalt. So I understand that stuff can get overwhelming. That's nasty. And Rick Bradley says, Grant, if it was 250 or 300, it is the child tax credit. Okay. And not having any kids, I wouldn't know about that. And I see the black sticky notes. Yes, you do, darling. Yes, I was amazed. And Sarah turned me on to this. Post-it, the Scotch Corporation actually makes black Post-it notes, and you get a white or silver pen. And you've got good penmanship. I forgot to mention that to you there. You have beautiful penmanship, Sarah. And on the backs of the boards, gotta love Amazon. Indeed, we do, and we love you too. And Joe Dog McKeel, Feds just announced booster shots starting in September with timing of 8 months after the last shot. Okay. See, in September, that's 9. I think I'm going to have to wait till probably around December to get my booster shot. But the thing is, I go in happily. I will gladly go in and get a booster shot. It's the same way with the flu shot. We have to get a new one every year because the flu mutates, and that's the thing. The more you study about diseases, the more scared you'll get. So you definitely want to get those vaccines. And yeah, I may have to give you cash so you can pledge online with it for the independent comics I can only buy online. Sarah, we can work this out. Seriously, we live close enough. And Drinking with the Davies is back this Friday, says Ted Davies Artistry at 7 p.m. Eastern. Chris and her helper, Ted, will be mixing up the sidecar. Oh, man. That's a drink I haven't heard of in ages. I love this show. Plus a surprise bonus. Be there and get mixing. Oh yeah. I love Drinking with the Davies. I learned so much on there. And it won't be too long before we hit the road with no adult supervision. Can't wait. Me either. I've got to start lining up the logistics of it. But yeah, we're gonna have fun. It'll be a good show. You will be awesome, and we will all three have a good time. And the Historical Fencing Guild says country music is the only place folks can rhyme purse with yours. Yeah. I've noticed the high bar for rhyming in the last few decades has gotten worse and worse. I love Squeeze. I think Squeeze is one of my favorite groups, and a lot of their stuff just barely rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Then you've got Morrissey, which rarely rhymes. But anyway, Scott Crocker says, wow, Joe, is that going to help with Delta or what? Hopefully it will. Hopefully we'll get some more people online getting vaccinated, and good for these rock and roll groups that are holding concerts where you have to give proof that you've been vaccinated. Yeah, I know those cards can be forged easily enough, but just the same. And it should, Skunk Rocker. I'm thinking anything that helps at this point has got to be good. And maybe we can figure out how money can be exchanged for the comics only sold online. We'll talk about it, Sarah. We might be able to work that out. Well, then I might have to look into that. Michaela J says, shoot, the list of peps that send me those pics is long, and some are welcome. Okay. Well, if anyone is here, you tell me who has sent one that you didn't ask for, and I will deal with them accordingly. Grant Lankard, I was at Steel City Comic Con this weekend. Man, it was like a sociology experiment. It's a great place to people watch, I'm telling you that. And Historical Fencing Guild says, I get that admins have glowing blue fonts and wrenches, but what are the purple ones with a glowing font that blurs down the page with a randomly shifting rune instead of a wrench? You've been appointed wizard. You've been appointed necromancer, okay? Use your powers frivolously. And Jody McPhee from the Desk of Small Brothers Publishers properly amused. And Grant Lankard, is the list the only thing that's long, Michaela? And nope. She's got a husband for that. And give you the cash and then use my address? I don't know how that'll work. Sarah will work it out offline. How's that sound? And Imposter Syndrome Anonymous says the Historical Fencing Guild. Yeah. Nicholas and I keep lecturing each other on imposter syndrome. There is a thin line between necessary modesty and imposter syndrome, and Nick is there to remind me when I cross it, and I do the same with him. He's a very talented creator and an awesome human being. Grant Lankard, I shared a table with a guy at Comic-Con, and his comic book is terrible, but there are still people who buy it. It makes me scratch my head. Well, the thing is, sometimes when you get a comic book, you pick it up and you see things that you like. I've purchased a couple of comics. I bought one at a shop last year, and I bought a couple of them last year from one publisher that I knew casually. And these comics were so bad, I'm never buying another thing if I see their names on it. There is one company that good art, terrible story. One had really good art. A couple of them had really good art, really good story, and I like those. and I'd keep buying those. And then there's a couple that like, oh God, this is awful. You claim this was edited. I see no evidence of it. One of the things I'm doing right now is I'm a copy and content editor for Prose Press, and I'm doing a very difficult edit. But there are two different aspects. One is the copy editor who checks punctuation, spelling, etc., redundancy, etc. And then there's the content editor. How does it flow? Are things happening? Could you be expressing this better? Should you expand this one section? Can you trim this one down as much as possible? So there are different kinds of editors, and there's also things like sensitivity editors where your work is looked at. Are there areas that give triggerable moments? Are there areas that could give offense unintentionally? I'm sure. For instance, Volcana has some very violent scenes in there, and probably one of my future printings will have trigger warnings in it. So, and Damian Waldrum, if you need a client to beat the imposter syndrome out of, please consider me. Well, the spankings line up on the right, Damian, and you get a discount because you're my friend. And the pharmacy I was just at, says Skunkcracker, just became my favorite for making fun of the pharmacy I'm heading to now. Apparently, the pharmacy I'm on my way to right now is known to the other pharmacy as Crackhead RX. Oh, I love the classy clientele that brings. And Rick Bradley says, I know sometimes I worry that Marvin's Night Out, available in paperback and digital on Amazon, is only 40 pages. But then I remind myself that it paid for groceries one week and my imposter syndrome stepped down a bit. Yeah, I was on a podcast a couple of years ago, and I was with another writer. And the question was asked, what validates your work? And my friend was talking very eloquently about how people compliment him, about seeing his, seeing good reviews of his work and knowing that he's pleasing people, makes it all worthwhile for him. And I agreed with him completely, but I thought, I've got a reputation to maintain. And so I was asked the same question. I said, well, I got a check from Amazon. That's all the validation I need. So, and they were like, he's right. Glenn Fleming says, write that book, draw that comic, make that film. If you don't do the work, then no one is ever going to see it. That's something we discussed last night. And I don't remember if it was on the show or after hours, but it's like there are stories that are crying out inside you to be told if you're a creative person. It could be a single image on a Bristol board, or it could be a novel or a short story, even just a flash fiction piece. But, if you don't do it, who will? Who can do it? Your voice is the one that gives it life. I've got a work in progress that there are some people who will probably say, I shouldn't be the one write it. But my response is no one else is writing it. And I'm talking about truth. And if they're not writing it, then it falls upon me to do it. So yeah, definitely let that creative self out. That's what this show is about. Sarah, the worst smell that I can't stand is burning hair. Oh yeah, that's bad. My mom, she got severe burns to her head when she was a teenager. And I've had, like sometimes, this thing gets caught like too close to a stove or a campfire or something, and it does smell bad. I agree with you. And good morning, Cindy Cap. How y'all are, darling? Mwah, we are well. Hope you are the same. Good to see you as always. Back in the cereal box. Boosters are only for immunocompromised. Yeah, for right now. I agree with that. I don't think I am. I've got a pretty healthy immune system. But I would get it if if they said, I probably should get it because I'm 65 with a heart condition. So Donna Carlene says, that's like when we had pigs and we're the first to put them on cement. Complain about the smell, and Pop would say, smells like money to me. I love that attitude. See, you can overcome anything if you got the right motivation. And Historical Fencing, last night after the show, I did an Insomniac weapons trainer review on a trainer analog of the knife that shared my life, or is that spared? But anyway, that sounds good. I will definitely check that out. And Santa with Signs, you need to go to Smashwords where you can get Santa signed, readable on your Kindle. And yep, my grandpa said the same thing about the paper mill, Donna, says Grant Lankard. And Volcana, if you're not triggered by violence, go see that. If you like independent women, strong, powerful women, and nether gods, You will love that book. Thank you, Cindy. And Mike Jimmy Lorsha de Bruin. Hello, Nevermore. Good morning to you, Mike Jimmy. It's so good to see you. Hope all is well. And Fighting Axes, that's the specialty of Nicholas Anthony Tucker. Get that book. It's a great reference book. You will really dig it. Great show, Brian, but I got a boogie for now. I hope everyone has a nice day. Do good deeds and watch them come full circle. Vaya con dias, amigos. Happy trails till we meet again, Bill Sarn. Have a great one, and please sign up for the artwork of Bill Sarn on that Facebook thing. And facts, Glenn, definitely facts. And Nightreich, definitely John B. Pica's brand new book. You got to get that book. It looks good. It's got Nazis and magic in it. And Cindy Cap says, the Doctor is in. Check out The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central. And C2E2 says, Ted Davies Artistry, just announced you need a Vax card for entry if you are attending or showing. If you aren't vaxxed, you need a COVID test before you come to the event with passing results in hand. No entry. Good for them. Good for them. I applaud that. I've had mine, so I'm in. That really, it's not a matter of individual freedoms. It's a matter of saving the planet. And the Dastardly Dingoes podcast, you need that. Brian, Chad, and Jeremy will have one of the best, the funniest podcasts on the air. Check them out on YouTube there and subscribe to their channel. And the Culture of Nerds, Ryan Permison has it. It's not just yogurt anymore. Check it out all week long. He's got great nerdy content. Good stuff, and be safe out there, peeps. Definitely, Ted Davies. Glad to have you here, brother. Mwah! Good to see you, man. And Small Desks get published. They're tough to run through that printer. They just grind up the gears. But Joe D. McPhee knows how to do it every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Great show all the time. Cindy kept Neurosis. Amy Hale, check her out. She is a sick little girl, and buying a copy of Neurosis would help her get well again. Every time you buy a copy of Neurosis in paperback or an ebook, an angel gets its wings. Sarah Setter says, my Jeffrey Hayes shadow canvas is autographed. Whoa, just being a pain in the booty because it's amusing to do back and forth. No. I got it. High road, Brian. High road. Anyway, for this small press publisher, interesting, Ted. I didn't get that notice as an exhibitor yet, but that is a great thing indeed. And Warriors 3, check out the work of Michaela Jade. She is an incredible author, and she's working on number 4. But in the meantime, get your Warriors trilogy right now on Amazon. And if you want poetry, you want Teresa Dunn. Who doesn't want Teresa Dunn? Check it out at Amazon Poetry Express.